Slap.
The 10 most disturbing pieces of art. Great art has the potential to inspire all sorts of emotions. The following disturbing pieces of art happen to bring out feelings of dread, horror, and complete hopelessness. So why not spare a few minutes as we take a look at the 10 most disturbing pieces of art. Number 10. Francisco Goya, Satin devouring his son. This piece by Spanish artist Francisco Goya depicts the Greek myth of the Titan Cronus, who, fearing being overthrown, promptly devoured each of his children at birth. Look at that expression.
Oh shit, why am I doing this? It's just so good.
Coincidentally, that's the same face everyone pulls when they eat McDonald's. Number 9. Patricia Piccinini, Undivided. Piccinini is an Australian artist who works with a variety of media, particularly sculpture. Her work aims to address concerns about biotechnology and mapping the human genome. Her sculptures often depict bizarre creatures with oddly human features. This piece, titled Undivided, showcases a humanoid creature with a bladed carapace. It instills a real sense of unease as it clutches to the young human child. You can see there are other creatures emerging from the back of the first creature. There's just something so unwholesome about this image. Number 8. Caravaggio, Judith beheading Holofernes. This gruesome painting by Caravaggio, painted in 1598, depicts Judith seducing and decapitating the Assyrian general Holofernes. The attention to detail heightens the horror of the piece. And just look at that creepy old lady.
Good things I brought me noggin sack.
Number 7. Theodore Guericou, Anatomical Pieces and Heads Severed. This is a series of very macabre paintings by French painter Theodore Guericou. During the early 1800s, Guericou began preparatory work for one of his most famous works, Raft of the Medusa, by borrowing severed body parts from the Paris morgue. He would paint the pieces in disjointed positions, then stash them under his bed or on the roof of his apartment so as to render varying degrees of decaying flesh for his paintings. He wanted to achieve different colours and textures. Number 6. Gerard David, The Judgement of Cambyses. At first glance, this painting, depicting the arrest of corrupt Persian judge Sisamnes, seems rather harmless until you notice... Oh dear God, what are they doing to his leg? Number 5. Maria Reuben Key, Various Sculptures. Danish artist Maria Reuben Key works with porcelain figures to create truly unsettling imagery. It's all about little girls dicing their own legs, ripping their scalps in two, and pulling out their own eyes. Whew. Number 4. Francis Bacon, Study after Velasquez's portrait of Pope Innocent X. This is a haunting 1953 painting by Irish-born British figurative painter Francis Bacon. It depicts a warped version of the portrait of Innocent X painted by Spanish painter Diego Velázquez in 1650. Bacon created 45 different versions of this painting as he enjoyed experimenting with colour. His distorted vision of the Pope is troubling as the figure screams himself into oblivion. Number 3. Zetas Sinskey, Various Works. These are the haunting works of murdered artist Zdzisław Beksiński. Born in Poland in 1929, he became one of Poland's most influential artists, having his most prolific periods in the 60s and 70s. It's hard to pick just one piece, as his entire career was dedicated to creating unsettling images of dystopian surrealism. Although he maintained his art was optimistic, however, looking at these chilling images, it seems obvious that living through the Holocaust left an impression on his work. On February 21, 2005, he was found dead in his apartment with 17 stab wounds all over his body. A teenage acquaintance of his was arrested for the crime. It is thought that Sinskey refused to lend the teenage boy money before the murder took place. Number 2. Mark Powell, Diorama. Melbourne artist Mark Powell conjures up hellish dioramas with disturbing detail. The whole thing is unsettlingly domestic as the demented creatures seem to be preparing some kind of meal. Powell uses silicone to make the gruesome scenes as he depicts fevered visions of other worlds. Number 1. Joshua Ha Fein, Bedside. Ha Fein is a horror photographer from Emporia, Kansas. His work is very macabre and seeks to allow the viewer to feel repressed or taboo emotions. Interestingly, he worked for Hallmark Cards before going freelance. This piece, titled Bedside, is terrifying. The young girl's blank expression, which happens to be Ha Fein's daughter, is offset by the happy family portrait sitting on the bedside table. This scene has a troubling slickness to it, no doubt a byproduct of Ha Fein's time at Hallmark. Well, there you go, a whole bunch of very disturbing art indeed. If you enjoyed this curated selection, why not hit that thumbs up? It really helps us out. If you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button because we have new content coming every single week. And this is the Slapped Ham shining off.